Welcome back to another episode of ScenicFights, Fight Scenes Breakdown. I'm Chad Vázquez.
I'm Logan Lo.
And today we have an awesome episode. We have another anime, Fight Scene Breakdown, and not just any anime.
Okay.
All right, let me tell you what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with Attack on Titans, one of my top 5 animes ever. And we're gonna break down the fight scene between Eren, the main character, versus the Armored Titan. You guys better be ready, because now I am. Let's do this.
Let's go.
So that's Eren, boom, clocked by Armored Titan. Armored Titan, this guy's strong. So he moves Eren very easily and just launches him with a nice cross to the face.
Is Eren naked in this?
They all are. Yeah, that's
I was not apprised of this.
That's actually why I started watching, to tell you the truth. I was like, oh, giant naked people, let's do this. All right, so now, Eren's down. He'll come back. Give him time. He always does this. He always gets beaten up, like, to a certain extent, and then comes back. Okay, they're going at it again. He's pumped up, about to go again, and gets clocked again.
Damn.
Boom. And he just, poof. That's just a beautiful straight. And back to where he started.
But Eren believes in himself.
Oh, no, he's not giving me a look. He's coming back again. All right, so here we go.
Tenacity. It's very important.
All right, so here we go. Third exchange. There we go. Nice box stance. Throws a exaggerated punch. Tries to go for the same cross.
Did he do a slip?
Slip.
Nope. Oh, he did do a slip.
And captures them into a Gatame control. And the takedown he does is an Osoto-Gari. So, Eren and the Armored Titan, they're going at it. The first exchange we are looking at here is boxing. Eren slips across. So Logan's gonna aim for my neck, and I'll perform the slip that Eren did. So as they're fighting, there's a slip. Look at the exposure. From here, Eren got a head-on control. So that's how he's boxing, and he combined it into a grappling position. That head-on control allowed him to move to now the first big takedown in the fight, the Osoto-Gari. So Eren gets his head-on control, and he gets his inside leg behind. I think Eren actually went all the way to the far leg. I don't see that too often. I think the near leg is a more common one. But just to show you the footwork and how we pick the leg up, for Logan's safety, I'm not gonna drop him. We take this step, clear, lift. And with that, we have the Osoto-Gari footwork and takedown. After completing the takedown, Eren maintains that control down to the floor. That position is referred to as a Gatame. It is one of my most favorite positions to use when I spar. He didn't use it in the way that is best recommended. He actually let go, came up, and went to a ground pound position. He could have used it to choke someone out or to attack their time. There's a choke there. Let's break that down, how that looks like. Okay, so let's look at my position for the choke. Knee in, other leg, straighten, so I'm low. Now, upper body. I don't want my opponent's arm high, right? Just above his head. So from here, if that ever happens, I can always use my hand to push it back in if I need to. That's important. Okay, now, ear to ear, elbow far. If I do this, what Logan can do is bridge into me and pull the elbow down and free the arm. So the outside arm opens up that elbow so I have a good base and he can't roll me over or get out. Now, the choke. I push my ear into his head and I pull my right elbow inward for the choke. Push my head, ear into ear, and now my right elbow comes in, and that gives me a nice, clean blood choke from that position. That is a Gatame. All right, so now they're down on the ground with Eren on top. He's mounting him. Pause the video here. We did a little bit of breakdown in our Kengan episode about mount escapes. So if you haven't seen that, look back to that video and I'll go into a little more detail about escaping the mount. All right, so he's just about to punch him. And now the Armored Titan just rolls him over. And boom, triangle. So he catches him during the transition. All right, it seems like Eren is putting the armbar first over the choke. Now, the triangle choke position that we're looking at, the general rule is that if you're in a position that you have both the option of a choke and a joint lock, you generally put chokes first because chokes end fights, right? If you choke someone out, that's it. They're not coming back. The fight's done. If you break someone's joint, that doesn't guarantee the fight's over. Some can keep on going through,
right,
like this guy.
Right.
So let's go over and break that down, where if you are in a triangle situation, how do you properly do an armbar from there? Okay, so I'm Eren. I'm mounted armor Titan, and the armor Titan with its immense strength just pushes Eren right off. But Eren recovers into a submission control position, the front triangle. Okay, let's look at it. Logan will start bridging me over, right? And what happens is the armor Titan, he extended his arm and had one back. See, he's leaning over, arm extension, one arm is back. So Eren gets what seems like a 2-on-1 and brings his knees back and locks in a front triangle. Now, as I said earlier, what's the rule here? You generally want to put chokes first if you can. They end fights, right? And so it will look quickly like this. Base the foot, change the angle, get a scoop grip, rotate around, and we have our triangle choke. But now Eren's here. We have a situation where the armor Titan is actually posturing up. And that's a general rule. I find that if I'm in this position and my opponent postures up and I feel like I can't do the choke, and that's a valid concern. With posture, it does affect the choke. I would then go for a armbar here. Okay, how to properly do it? We do want to still cover that shoulder. That's still important. Trying to open that up. So I still keep my triangle. I won't be so straight on. I'll try to be at an angle. And now, guys, the big detail is bridging off of my right shoulder. So as I move the elbow right on top of my hip, I'm gonna bring it on top of my hip. I'm gonna look to my right and come off my left shoulder and base on my right. That gives me proper braking power for the submission. So here we go. From here. So as I look away, I'm gonna be safe here and not hold my partner's arm. Ideally, that's what I'm looking to do. Get my hips off the floor and balance on my shoulder here. So when I'm doing these arm bars here, I'm bridging towards my partner, and it comes on that fast. Eren was straight on. Realistically, you'd want to be more at an angle and bridge towards them for better braking power.
Got down.
Okay, so now he's switching his legs to knock him down. So now we're into an armbar, a Judo Gatame. And he rips the arm right off.
Well, that's graphic. Imagine that's how you die. You get hit by a flying arm.
And I can kind of get it because, like, okay, if he broke the arm, it's already kind of dangling, so you can probably rip it off afterwards. Okay, and now, arm off, he's charging, and boom, double leg, right to the wall. Another takedown that you'll see quite often throughout this fight, attempted by the armor Titan, is the double leg takedown. Key details now: head very tight to the hip, with good posture, please. Downward head will lead into a technique we'll break down later, which is the guillotine. Hands behind the knee, curving the wrists. And our main goal, if we can, in a perfect scenario, would really be to maybe lift and dump a guy to the side, not necessarily going into his legs because of threats that we are aware of.
Right.
So a little example here. Level change, there's a gap here, so I'll drop my knee. Okay, from here, I lift, and now I can guide him down and clear his legs. Ideally, that's a better case where we take the guy down and we try to move around the legs to a top position, not within the guard. And boom, an Irmi Garami. Let's pause there. Let's give a hand for Eren. Let's give a hand for Eren. That's, all right. I appreciate that. All right, so we have an Irmi Garami. That was dope. Let's see how he used it before saying anything else. Okay, so he goes to double trouble and the knockdown. A lot happened there. Let's break that down. I appreciate the technique, but there's also some other cool options could have done. Let's get into it. Eren's on his back. He's getting attacked by the armor Titan, and to protect himself, he creates a leg entanglement. That's what Osoto-Gari refers to. It's just a generic term that refers to leg entanglement. Here we are. And Irmi Garami. From here, this is also referred to as a single X guard from other schools. As Eren has his position, the armor Titan is just throwing punches, and Eren is slipping. Here's the problem. For my attacker to reach my face, if he's taller than me, maybe hit me, but ideally he has to remove my legs. From here, what Logan wants to do is push this off and pull my knee open. Now, with this position, he could start attacking or maybe perform a back step over my foot, which allows him to clear my legs and continue to attack. That's ideally what the Armor Titan wants to do, instead of just punching. But Eren does a pretty good sweep here, using a concept called double trouble. Let's go into it and explain what that means. Eren's being attacked, so he starts moving to a new position, his legs to sweep. He gets a Achilles grip. The top leg goes underneath as a hook, and the bottom leg hooks the far knee. Achilles grip, so what Eren does, he repositions his legs like so. Inside hook, and then a far hook on the far knee. And with this hand, he does something very, very, very important. He grabs the other ankle. This is good. This is an example of a concept called double trouble, where you control both legs. From here, the chance of him knocking down his opponent is very high, which we'll demonstrate right now. And so very slowly, I'll knock down Logan and how Eren knocked down the Armor Titan. Once that collapse happens, he creates a tube base here, one with his left leg, his right hand, and starts coming up to a stand-up to disengage with the Armor Titan. I think there's a better strategy he could have used from here. Let's go over a very simple example of another thing that could be done from that Irmi Ashi Garami position. There's a lot you can do. I'll give you a very basic dilemma. He could have thrown in a sweep. With this really basic Ashi Garami sweep here, I make sure that my far leg, my inside leg, hooks the far hamstring. I now hip up and twist my knees outward in the direction where I want my opponent to fall. We'll do this very slowly. Here we go. I hip up and I twist. And we want that collapse. This allows me to go into certain leg attacks or simply standing up to start attacking him from a top position. But then here's the problem. Logan's gonna adapt. So now I have to have a second move to make sure he doesn't hurt me. Here's the second move. If Eren chose this strategy, the Armor Titan would have to stop himself from getting put to the floor. So to do that, he would have to squat down and lean his head in this direction. And now let's do a quick test here. I'm gonna very lightly try and knock Logan down. You'll see how much harder it is for me. Yes, I can feel the weight. I can't make it. So I will now threaten with the leg lock. With my legs here, I can start bringing them over and threatening a heel hook by creating this triangle here. Now Logan is really in a bad situation. If he wants to get out, he can't just pull his leg out right away because I have his knee control. From here, one thing that Logan will do, especially when I start putting pressure on his ankle, is he'll start rolling and I'll roll with him. When we're done, I land in a outside Ashi Garami position. With this control, I have much stronger braking power. It's difficult for Logan to unlock my legs to get out. And if he wants to spin again, it's hard. Let's show you how we finish the leg lock, or rather the heel hook, from this outside Ashi Garami position. From here, everyone, we have a proper lock. We start putting the heel to the floor, but we stay on our arm. Now, I can use my crossed legs to hook behind Logan's back and pull myself closer to him. The closer my hips are to his hips, the better control and braking power I have. Now, I go downward elbow, downward thigh, downward shin. And when I pull the heel up, I push my hips forward into his knee. And just like that, we have braking power onto the ankle, and most importantly, the knee. This is a much better, safer dilemma that Eren could have done from that Ashi Garami position, where he would have threatened the Armor Titan, took him down the floor under much better terms, and most importantly, not get punched in the face. And so now gets a head arm control, boom, and a guillotine, establishing a close guard.
Because usually when I get my arm ripped off, I'm pretty much done for that day.
I agree, yeah, but not this guy. All right, so now his army guillotine, close guard. He's trying to choke him, and you see the arm is breaking based on how much he's bending his neck.
Ugh.
And that's, yeah. So far, it's on the ground. It's all been jitsu. Awesome. All right, so here we are. We're now into the final exchange between Eren and the Armor Titan. You can see the Armor Titan keeps charging Eren. I mean, the guy has no arm, and he's trying to pin him down and get him to the floor. So this is the best he can do. He's kind of punching, but a lot of tackling. And this opens up a beautiful opportunity for Eren to get a head-on control and then once getting his legs involved, turn into a guillotine position. From here, Eren now gets his legs involved and turns this situation to a closed guard. And he lands right here. We can see Eren's trying to pull back and squeeze, and he's very flat on. These are two issues on what he's trying to achieve from that position. So let's go over how we would properly finish that choke if we land in the way that Eren did. First, my positioning. When I land in a closed guard with the guillotine control, I want to be a bit of an angle, so you will see this by where my feet lock. As I fall, and from here, I actually lock my feet on the far hip. Do you see the angle I'm in? This allows me to put downward pressure on the neck and gives me extra space to go into my choke. So the first part I want to comment on is my positioning. I'm at an angle. You can see because I'm crossing my feet by the far hip, where Eren was more flat on the lower back. That's one major difference. Now the choke itself. I'm trying to get my hand as high as I can, like so, to the other side of the neck. Furthermore, it's important for me to move my head to the other shoulder in order to do this. If my head stays on in this line, I can't have access as much as possible. But if I move my head over, I can better move my arm into the other carotid. That's what I'm gonna be doing with my hands when I lock up the choke. And now, let's go into the squeeze, how we actually finish the choke. Eren's connection. We understand now how we want to land. We want to land at an angle. And now, as I pull the legs towards me, I push my hand inward into the neck. And like that, we have a nice clean choke from the arm-in guillotine position. I really enjoyed this fight. My favorite was the use of Ashi Garami as a knockdown. I gotta give credit to the creators of this show because you really have to understand what's going on with grappling and jitsu to appreciate how the control was established and how the feet were used to knock someone down. I could see that there's definitely a lot of good research done from that fight scene. Overall, I enjoyed it, and I'm gonna give this fight scene an A. All right, guys, peace.